Now here's the big question. What now? She's got her back, looking to lock it in. She's out!
What's going on, T.O.? Great to be back. I love being here in Canada because I get proper NHL highlights on 4 different stations. I absolutely love it. We're going to spend the next half hour, 45 minutes, with 2 of the best fighters in the UFC today. And some of you Fight Club members have done this before. We've got microphones set up on both sides. The questions are going to come from you, and they're going to be directed to the fighters because these 2 men are bad, bad men. And they may both be wearing UFC gold very, very soon. So, without further ado, let's bring up the 2 men who will be here right now to visit with you, our UFC Fight Club members, Anthony Rumble Johnson and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Had to wait to see who came out first. Good. Okay, I'll do the first one. Look at you guys, already in line. I'll do a quick first one. Your father, on my bio, it says your father is the toughest man in South Carolina. Has that officially changed? Have you been ordained?
You know what? I don't know, because I would never challenge my pops to a fight. Even though he's like 63 years old, I think he can still whoop me. So, you know, I try not to challenge him for that title.
That's great. And Rumble, one quick one before we get to our great audience here. You were supposed to be on the other side of this curtain tonight. How frustrating is this?
It's not frustrating at all. I get to come out here and cheer with the fans, have a blast. You know, I do want to apologize to everybody for the fight not happening. But you guys showed me so much love whenever we came out and did the media tour. So I made it a priority to come back and show you guys the same amount of love that you showed me. So thank you for having me out here again.
Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, we'll start over here. Questions for Rumble or Wonderboy? Take it away, sir.
Hi, Rumble. My name's Mike. It's a pleasure to watch you fight. I just have 2 questions. One, can I take a photo with you? Is that it?
When?
You?
Okay, that's one of the questions we don't allow.
To get a photo with you?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Because everybody will say so.
And the second one is maybe if we can get Joe Rogan in there in the photo, that'd be good.
Okay, that's 0 for 2.
Awesome.
No, I'm not saying you can't get photos, but...
But what do I do? Do I just wait on here at the end, or?
No, we'll give you details later.
I don't even know how to
Top
answer
secret.
that.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You know how to answer that?
You don't get a photo?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know how that
no
works.
idea how that works.
Come on, man.
Okay.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, we got you. All right. Over here, please.
How's it going, guys?
How are
Doing
you?
good.
Hey, I'm sad I missed you last night, Rumble. I'm glad I'm going to meet you tonight. But I got a question for both of you. There's a fighter that's fighting tomorrow night that was supposed to, 2 fighters that were supposed to fight on the last pay-per-view. One of them really didn't make weight, didn't even show up. Now he's fighting on this card with the guy he was supposed to fight. Now, that was a big card. That was good money for the 2 guys that were going to be fighting. There could have been a fight of the night bonus. There could have, you know. And now we're here. My question to you is, if you were the guy who was fighting tonight, and then your opponent who kind of ruined your night a month ago was put on the card with you, would you feel a little upset inside, or maybe that you should be benefited with something because of that?
Well, for me, man, as a fighter, that's one thing I try and never do is get frustrated or get emotion into it, just because it can affect you sometimes out there. Any opponent that I have, I know they try and get in your head. They try and mess with you mentally. You know, that wouldn't bother me one bit, man. I would just go out there and try and do my thing.
You're referring to Cerrone and Gastelum, right?
I am.
Of course, yeah. Obviously, your thoughts, Rumble.
I've missed weight a couple of times myself.
Yeah.
So
Still a fan.
That is true.
I'm neutral, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it happens, but you have to come to the conclusion that, you know, if the weight cut is that hard for you and you can't make weight, you need to go up. So
yeah.
That's what I did. You know, Kevin is, you know, hurting not just himself, but his family, his friends, his team, the organization. So he has to make the smarter move and go up in weight.
Yeah.
Can't keep doing that to himself.
All right. Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Great question. Thank you very much. Next one over here.
Hey, what's going on,
shirt.
guys? It's Leo from New
Rumble
Jersey.
Squad.
Oh, yeah, you see. I got two questions for both of you guys. So first thing for Rumble, it's actually about the the Rico fight tomorrow. I know you sparred with him in the past. How do you think that goes tomorrow, him against Bada?
Rico is a beast.
Yeah.
I don't see him losing at all, but Badahari's he's a monster too, but I think he's past his prime now, and Rico is just getting not even to his prime yet, and he's a beast. I mean, I don't see anybody beating him anytime soon.
To follow up on that, I know he has competed in MMA. So, do you think he has a career in the sport? I mean, obviously he's not an old guy, but he's starting to get miles on him. Obviously, he's been kickboxing for a while. So, do you think if he were to start the sport, closer to his 30s, you think he would do well?
Rico's a smart man, so he can definitely adapt to the sport and do what he needs to do to win. I think he'll be fine in MMA. I don't think people realize how big Rico is and how athletic he is. I sparred with him, and his movement was incredible.
And then I got a question for you, Steven. Obviously, you want the Woodley fight. It's the fight that would make the most sense. But you know how the sport is; anything could happen. Would you entertain something else? If it's a waiting game and you don't know what's going to happen with that, would you entertain a George fight in Canada or Maya in Brazil, something like that? Is something that if you ultimately can't get the title fight, even if it is what should happen?
Well, as of right now, it looks like it's going to happen. We're just not really sure when yet. We were looking at Brooklyn, late February, early March. Might be early March, but as of right now, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. But you know what? I'm not the type of guy who sit and wait. You know what I mean? I like to stay busy. So if something did happen, he gets injured, whatever, I'm up for whatever, man. I'm here to fight, baby. I'm here to fight.
Last question, Rumble. Do you think Cameroon fighting Maya this early, is it a smart move? You think he would do well in a fight against Maya? I know he called him out.
Yeah, Kamaru is actually, he trains very hard. I remember the day he came in the gym, and compared to now, he's like 10 times the fighter that he is, you know what I mean, that he was whenever he came in. And I think he'll do just fine. Of course, Maya's, jiu-jitsu is out of this world, but I think Kamaru's wrestling would definitely stall him out. I think he'll do fine.
Cool. Another thing, about 2 years ago, you hooked me up with the breeder in California. This guy, Scott Montgomery. Just wanted to thank you again. We love our dogs.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, let's give it to one or two, although those were excellent questions. I got a real quick one for you. The judges rendered their decision, and then there was that moment of confusion, and Tyron was so angry and so fierce because he thought that it might not go his way. What were you thinking about when they went back to the judges' scorecards, all that confusion?
Well, as soon as they announced the winner, I was like, wait a second. I know I won more rounds. I know I won the second, third, and fifth round. Obviously, he won the first and the fourth like crazy, but I knew I did better than what I guess the judges thought. So I was like, wait a second, man, this can't be sounding right. But as soon as I turned around, literally Dana White looked at me and was like, no, you stay in the cage. It was a draw. It was a draw. And I know that Tyron heard that, and you could tell he was upset, man. But, even though it wasn't a win, I'm still disappointed. I know I could go out there and perform better than what I did that night. And you'll see that next time we face off against each other.
Crazy couple of minutes, though. Crazy couple of minutes. Over here, next question, please.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, how are you guys enjoying Canada so far?
Man, I've literally been in Canada, I think 4 times in the last 6 months. I love Canada, man. I love it. I fought in Toronto. Fought in Toronto 2 years ago. I love it, man. I'm just having a blast being here.
I love it so far. It's just cold.
Yeah.
I'm from Florida, bro. It's 82
We need
to
more
87.
fights here, though. We need more fights.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thanks, that's all.
Thank you very much. Next over here, please.
Hey guys, first things first, welcome to Toronto, just like that. Thank you so much for coming.
T.O.
I'm a big fan of you guys because you're so humble, you're so respectful to your opponents, and your skills are amazing. I just want to ask a question both of you guys. Rumble, are you the hardest hitter in all MMA history? And if not, who do you think is? And Wonderboy, are you the most technically sound striker in history? And if not, who do you think is?
I think you guys should both say yes. And just keep it at that. Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Do you think you are?
Honestly,
A lot of us do.
I don't think about it. I let you guys determine if I'm the hardest hitter in MMA, and my opponents.
Your opponents might say you
Yeah,
are.
so I let them decide.
A lot of them.
I think you are.
I think you are too. And Wonderboy, what do you think?
Yeah, like you said, man, we're fighters. We're always trying to improve. So I never really stopped to think about, hey, man, am I the, most technically sound fighter in the UFC? I just go out there and do what I love to do, man, and that's it, And like you said, you guys are the ones to determine that, and I'm just along for the ride, man.
And a good ride so far.
Yes,
Real
sir.
good ride so far. Next question from you, sir.
Hey, Mike.
How are you,
Hey,
sir?
fighters. Well, I have two questions. As Thompson, first off, I would like to ask you about some comments Woodley recently made. He once again seems to want to fight Nick Diaz, who's a great fighter, but is also coming off 3 losses and didn't just fight to an incredible draw with him. What are your opinions on that, and when would you like that fight to happen?
When would I like the fight for Tyron and Nick fight, you mean?
Like the Tyron Woodley fight, like that rematch, and what do you think about him, like calling out Nick Diaz again?
You know what? He can call it whoever he wants. I'm getting that next shot. I don't care, That's just the way it is. But you know what? After we settle our score, because we still got a score to settle, if he wants to fight Nick Diaz, go for it, man. But Nick Diaz, like you said, he's been out for a while, and the game has changed in the time that he's been out. So we'll see what happens, man. I think Tyron he's very strong opponent, and he's the welterweight champ for a reason. So I think Nick would definitely have his hands full with that.
Yeah, and it was a great fight, by the way. And to Rumble, I've followed your career since your first UFC fight. You've an incredible fighter. You've been a great inspiration, especially since you've had some incredible highs and overcome some difficult lows. So I was wondering, what do you think was the hardest time in your career, and how were you able to get through that time and reach the point where you are today as one of the best in the world?
My lowest point was actually whenever I got dropped from the UFC after I fought Vitor Belfort in Brazil. And honestly, what got me through it is just not giving up. I wanted to make sure my grandmother was happy, because if I'm hurting, she's hurting. You know what I mean? And my grandmother, she's my heart and soul. So I just had to make sure I did whatever I could do to make sure she was happy. And so, flying back home from Brazil, my coach and I, Henry Hu, I think it was like an 8-9 hour flight, something like that. We talked the entire flight, had a couple of glasses of wine, and we just decided to really give this thing a shot and go all out. And so far, it's paid off. So I give my grandmother the credit for making me push myself even more. And you guys never gave up on me. And that was one of my biggest fears too, is that I was always wondering what were the fans going to think of me, because I messed up so bad. But then after a while, I was like, forget it. I just got to do this for me and for my grandmother, and the rest will just play out how it's supposed to.
Thank you very much. I wish you both luck in your upcoming title fights. I think you're both going to become champions.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Great stuff. Over here, sir. You're next.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for coming to Toronto. I have 2 questions. The first one's for both of you. For your respective matches, will you guys change any strategic plan for your rematch against your opponents, or will they be pretty much like the same? And the second question is for Stephen Thompson. When you beat Tyron Woodley for the belt, would you give Conor McGregor a chance at the belt, or would you just say fuck off and you're not getting a chance at this division?
Well, for me, I was coming in to just whoop that ass. You know what I mean? I was going to come in and fight. He said he was going to make it a dog fight, so I was ready for it. And I know that all I need is 1. He needs 5, I need 1. You know what I mean? So I know I can make it happen quicker than he can. So the fight was going to be dirty, and it wasn't going to be dirty for me. It was going to be dirty for him.
Yeah, for me, I think coming to this next fight, definitely walking around at a heavier weight. I was walking around really light before the last fight, and when I rehydrated, I got back to 178, only gained 8 pounds. So I could feel that in those clinch positions being in there with Tyron. Tyron's a big 170, man, and you could definitely feel that. So changing that up, but everything else, I think it's going to be pretty much the same. Keep the distance, working my striking. And to answer your second question is, man, I'll fight whoever. And once I become champion, I think that's what it comes to being a champion. You got to fight whoever steps up. If it's Conor, if it's Damian Maia, if it's whoever, I'm going to say yes to it. So I think champions should take on newcomers.
Thank you.
Over here, you are next, my friend.
Hey guys, I got this idea from your best friend Joe. I want to hear all of your best Yoel Romero impressions.
Who's he talking?
You got to do it.
Who does that?
Who you talking? Joel Romero. He wants. Talking about all of us?
Yeah, all of you. Like a little competition, maybe.
I love you, Bisbing. I love you. That was it. Yeah. That's a good.
You gotta do it, Rumble.
Good turn.
You gotta do it now. Come on, Rumble.
The only one that got to me when he said no gay Jesus, but he really meant to say no hate, don't. You know what I mean? When he said that, everybody thought he said something about gay, but it wasn't. That wasn't what he said. That was the only one that stuck out to me. That was it.
All right, thanks, guys.
This is the improv all of a sudden, right?
But you know what I'm talking about.
I
That's what
know.
he said. That's the only one I remember.
Yeah. Tim Kennedy has a memory too, but we'll move on. All right, fire away.
What's up, guys? Hope you guys are enjoying Canada. I'm Torrin from Calgary, Alberta. I just have a question for Anthony. Rashad Evans was supposed to be fighting on this card. Can you shed light on his situation, if he's going to go back to middleweight, maybe move up to light heavyweight, and when we're going to see him fight again? Because I'm a big fan and I want to see him fight.
I don't know. Rashad has a Facebook, a Twitter, and an Instagram. You might want to write him and ask him, because I have no idea, bro.
You're his training partner. You should know.
I'm his training partner. I ain't his daddy. I ain't his doctor. Okay, so you got to ask him. That's all I can tell you.
We would all like to see Sugar back in the octagon. Hopefully, it will be sooner than later. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm on Team Anthony Johnson. What are you doing for your cardio? That's what I want to know, because I think you'd be the champion of the world if you just work on your cardio. What are you doing?
Keep going. No, don't backtrack now.
I'm sorry. No, I love you. I love you.
No,
I would never ask you that question
you know what?
standing next to you.
You know what? Nobody has said anything about my cardio until my title fight. So you guys have seemed to have forgotten about my previous fights when I went the distance with a couple of fighters and I was fine. So I have one bad fight and everybody thinks my cardio is like it was when I was fighting at 170. But you guys also have to remember I was training for a different type of fight. You know what I mean? So people don't put that together. They just think, oh, you're a fighter. You're supposed to be able to do it all, which is true. But whenever you're getting ready for an opponent, you have to be ready for a specific style and this, that, and the third. But Daniel beat me fair and square. He was the better fighter. He beat me. To me, he beat me in the stand-up. He beat me in the wrestling. He beat me in the grappling. It didn't matter. He won. That's, you know. So, but if you guys were in there and you actually saw how I train, you would understand that it's not like I take anything for granted. I push myself hard, and I push myself hard, and that's why I'm in the position that I'm in.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The old saying, Rumble, is back when you were fighting 170, you were training to make weight. You weren't training for a fight, right?
Yeah, it was countless days where my teammates would be training on the mat, and I'm in the corner on the treadmill with the sauna suit on trying to lose 2 or 3 pounds, and I just didn't get the mat time that I needed. So my skill level was never going up. Thank God I have, crazy athletic ability and talent, but I was missing what I really needed, which was on the mat. But yeah, I was really fighting myself and not my opponents whenever I was in the octagon.
And depleting your body didn't help the cardio back
It did.
then.
I mean, it made me look good. Your boy had like a 9-pack. You know what I mean? I had some
A 9-pack?
I had a 9-pack.
9, all right. All right, that's random, but
Yeah.
all right, cool.
So
you have a 9-pack? You probably have a 10-pack, right?
Not right now, man. I have some of that Toronto food, man.
Over here, sir.
Yeah, I want to thank
He
you
was
guys
in
for coming
Ottawa. I
out,
love
making
it.
the time to come out to Toronto. I went to the Ottawa card to see you, Stephen Thompson, fight. What's his name? Sorry.
Rory McDonald.
Rory McDonald. Yes, I blanked out. Sorry. I got 2 questions here. First one goes out to you, Stephen Thompson. How do you feel with Tyrone Woodley calling out Nick Diaz? If you were in his situation, you had the belt, would you call out Nick Diaz and leave Tyrone Woodley hanging?
Yeah, I think I did answer that one. But you know what it is? I don't care who he calls out. We have a score. We got to settle. And he even admitted that. They came to him with a few other fighters to fight Robbie Lawler, and he's like, no, me and Stephen Thompson, we got scores to settle. And that's it. It was a tie. And we're going to be doing it again. And yeah, if I was the champion and it was a tie with somebody, I wouldn't feel like I could move on from that, So it doesn't matter who he calls out. We still got a score to settle. It's going to happen.
Unfinished business.
Yes, sir.
Certainly.
You're a great man. Thank you. For Anthony Johnson, the last time you were here for the media tour, you were interviewed by someone during the morning with Daniel Cormier. She exposed an injury to Daniel Cormier. Now, in your mind, did you ever think that Daniel Cormier might pull out because of an injury for this card?
No, not at all. This was a fight that I wanted. This was a fight that Daniel wanted. This was a fight that the fans felt I deserved. And I never once thought that he would pull out of the fight. So whenever I got the message that he was hurt, I was a little bummed about it. But it also made me think that, like I said, it wasn't my time right now. And it allows me more time to train and get better. So, you can see it as, a lot of people were saying, Daniel's scared. And you guys forget, he's a fighter. Fighters aren't scared. You know what I mean? Just because somebody pull out of a fight doesn't mean they're scared. We do get injured, So I wish Daniel the best. I hope he recovers quickly and heals up and get out there and train his butt off so we can fight.
Thank you, guys. And also, I want to know who agrees with me that we should bring a big fight to Rogers Center, Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo.
55,000. Jose fought there, and poor Mark Hominick had big growth on his head. He had a baby like 3 or 4 days later, and as a father, all I could think was all those pictures with him and the newborn, and he's got this big old creature on the side of his head. Love Mark Hominick. Back to you, sir.
So I want to start off with Steven. You're the fucking toughest dude on the planet, bro.
No, his father is.
Appreciate it.
Oh, fuck Rumble. Rumble.
No, I didn't say him. I said his father.
Dude.
It's an inside joke.
What is your
You were
problem,
here
bro?
early.
We've been waiting years for you guys to come to UFC, to come to Toronto. We've been waiting even longer to see someone punch the fuck out of that wrestle fuck Cormier.
He didn't
You're
get
the man to do it. You got the scariest right hand I've ever seen in my life, and you're not injured. What's your excuse, bro? Take the smaller guard. Take gay guard. What's your problem, bro? We've been waiting forever, bro.
Time out. What's your problem?
Dude,
Because,
my problem is that I'm the biggest fan.
You can
and
be
you're
a
not
fan.
showing up, bro. You're not injured. You have no excuse. That's why we love Conor McGregor, because that man shows up, he steps up, he doesn't give a shit anytime, anywhere, anybody, but apparently not for you.
Thank you.
All right, next question. Too many
down.
kokanees. Yeah, whoa, angry, so angry. Leave the Crown Royal alone. Over
exactly.
here.
Say no to drugs, bro. Say no to drugs. Remember that.
First one's for Anthony.
Hey, sorry, sir, not to interrupt. We're going to try to speed it through. We've got about 10 minutes left. So not to be rude to anybody, but let's fly through this so everybody gets a chance. Fire away, sir.
First one, Anthony, screw that guy.
Thank you.
You know what? Thanks for coming up. You had a fight. Most of us bought tickets to see you fight, and I just want to thank you for taking that hour of your time to come and do this Q&A for us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Steven.
Yes, sir.
You're the pound-for-pound girls man of the UFC, or the ladies man. Describe your first date with Chris Weidman's sister.
Oh, well, okay. Whoa. Well, let's get this straight. Is he serious? No, okay. My brother, it was my brother that married Chris Weidman's sister. So I never went on a date with Colleen. Never went on. I didn't even know he had a sister until the Leo Tomichita fight when my younger brother came up to New York to train or to help out with his camp. And they ended up meeting. Next thing you know, she's moving to South Carolina. So now we're family. Now we're family.
Thanks.
That's good stuff.
Thank you.
We had a fighter fight in Berlin, ended up marrying his opponent's sister. So
What?
yeah, it's happened.
Oh, wow.
It has happened. Fire away, sir.
I got a question for Wonder Boy. I watched a video of you. You got the key to the city at Simpson City.
Simpsonville.
Simpson City. This is Simpsonville, and you looked really emotional. I was wondering how much of your motivation to fight comes from your community. Like how much does your community mean to you?
Man, I come from a very, very small town of Simpsonville, South Carolina. I think the whole three cities around, we have like 30,000 people. But, man, it was really cool. Even though I didn't come home with the belt, I expected, we got home really late. It was like 10:30 at night. And I was expected just to go home and just go to sleep, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, I was escorted to Simpsonville, and you had almost over 1,000 people there. A lot of my students were there. Kids, staying up all night. They were sleeping in their parents' arms. It was emotional, man, to really be honest with you. And I just thought, man, it means the world to me. Everybody sees us fighters out there fighting and think it's just about us. And it's really not. You know, I step out there for everybody who makes sacrifices for me, my family, my coaches, my teammates who sacrifice their bodies during sparring sessions, and I do it for them, man. So it really meant a lot.
All right, thank you.
I didn't know you moved ahead of Sage Northcutt on the pound-for-pound top.
I didn't
girl.
either, man. I didn't either.
Super Sage now down to 2, I guess, right?
It's 2, that's right.
Crazy. Go ahead.
Johnson, I'm a big fan, buddy. I just want to let you know I knock people the fuck out in UFC with you, brother. You're a great fighter.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Thompson, my question for you, can you go 5 rounds with Conor McGregor?
Can I go 5 rounds with?
Yeah.
Did you see his fight with Tyron Woodley?
Let's say he knocks Woodley out, okay, with that left hand. Can you go with him 5 rounds?
You know it.
Can you take the left hand?
You know it. I mean, if I could.
Are you sure?
If I could take Ellenberger's right hand and Tyron Woodley's right hand, I could definitely take Conor McGregor's left hand.
You're sure?
I'm sure, baby. Let's go.
Johnson, you're a fucking beast. Remember that, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Sometimes these are just interesting. Fire away, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, for Wonder Boy, after you beat Woodley, I think we should call you Wonder Man instead of Wonder Boy. How do you like that?
I get that a lot. You know, I'm 33 years old, so
Yes.
as long as I'm walking out to Wonder Boy by Tenacious D, I will be Wonder Boy.
All right. Now, I have a question for Rumble. Any chance, I mean, with all the McGregor's hype, any chance we can see you go for 3 belts, heavyweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight?
No.
Well, you fought 3 weights, right?
Yeah, but that was the back.
In the past.
You fought like 5 or 6
I'm
weights,
an
really.
old man now. I can't do it like I used to. I lost my mojo. I can only do 2 weight classes. Light heavyweight and heavyweight, man, and that's it.
I should go side.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up.
My question is for Rumble. First is, do you have any plans to go up to heavyweight if you win the belt?
Yeah. You know, honestly, what's the matchmaker's name? Mick?
Joe Silva, Sean Shelby?
No, it's the newer guy, whoever he is. I talked to
yeah,
Joe too.
yeah.
But I asked to fight Andre Arlovsky now, because why not right now when it's a perfect opportunity for me to go up to heavyweight? And he declined.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I wanted to fight him because, you know, when I was fighting for another organization, I beat him. And he wanted a rematch. He called me out whenever both of us were with that organization. And, you know, I was like, all right, well, now we're in UFC. Everything's pretty open for me right now, so why not give him the rematch that he wanted? So I tried. You know, I wanted to stay active, and I wanted to give the fans something to be excited about. But I got the text that said he declined, so sorry.
Yeah, I think you'd win that fight pretty easily.
No, Andre's tough. You don't trust me. I hit him with everything in the sink. You know what I mean? And he still kept coming. I broke his jaw in the first round. The dude fought 10 more minutes. You know what I mean? With a broken jaw, and he was hitting me pretty hard. So, you know, I don't think people really understand how strong and how tough he is because they've seen him get knocked out by other legit knockout artists. You know what I mean? But Arlovsky, he's tough. He's tough.
And my last questions for Wonder Boy is, did the Matt Brown loss change anything for your career?
Oh, man, tremendously. You know what? If it wasn't for that fight, I believe that I wouldn't be right here where I am right now, you know, fighting for the title. I learned a lot during that fight, what I need to go back and work on. And before this last fight with Tyron, that was definitely my favorite fight because it showed everybody, you know, everybody sees this, you know, this young guy who doesn't look like a fighter. You know, I don't look like a fighter. And just taking the shots that I took during that fight and kept on going, you know, I got a lot more respect for that. And yeah, man, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that loss.
You don't look tough at all either, bro. It's like, you don't look tough at all.
Yeah, he
Thank
would
you
be
so
the
much,
wrong
guys.
guy to pick, wouldn't he? You would be the wrong guy to pick. And Stipe Miocic, our champ, Cain Velasquez, we'll get to the question right away, but same size. You could easily fit right into the heavyweight division.
I could
for sure.
definitely compete with the heavyweights, but those are just some big boys.
Yes, they are.
Those are some big boys, and but I'm always up for a challenge.
Absolutely. Next question, please.
Hey guys, I have a question for all 3 of you. But first, I want to say, Stephen Thompson, you're my absolute favorite fighter right now. I think you're an absolute warrior, and I really appreciate that you made it out to Toronto, even though you're not scheduled to fight. But my question is, for all 3 of you, is there a mega fight that you guys think should have happened a long time ago, but has yet to happen or happened a little too late? And Mike, too, I wanted to hear an answer.
Well, the one super fight that I really wanted to see was a few years ago. There was talk about George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva. I thought that would have been that would have been a good one, man. That would have been a good fight. So that was mine.
Same with me. At that time, those two dudes ruled the MMA world. And when they were both at the top of their game, it was inevitable that they should fight. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. There's going to be other super fights that come along, but that one, if it would have happened back then, would have been the one I think everybody in the world wanted to see.
My mega fight has already happened. It was Chuck Liddell and Vanderlei Silva.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That fight was insane. You know what I mean? Two of the best. They were in their prime and just going it out, going all out and going at it. You know, and
when was that?
It was years ago.
Yeah, I don't think I was
years
even
ago. You weren't around.
You were alive.
I was alive.
You were alive.
I wasn't fighting MMA.
But besides that one, I think
Hendo and Shogun was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Hendo and Shogun.
Twice. That was
but
awesome.
then the second one for me was Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz, UFC 202. That fight was amazing. So those are my fights, you know, that have happened already. I don't know about anything else. You know what I mean? I just pay attention to myself. I don't know about any other mega fights.
Pay attention to myself.
It's a great question, though.
Thank you.
You very much, sir. Thank you. Fire away.
Hi there. I have a question just for both of y'all. How long have you guys been fighting for, and what inspired you in the beginning to want to fight? Like, what got you into that moment to get out there and just beat people up?
Well, I don't know, man.
No.
It just happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Happen naturally.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just
cool.
kind of fell into it.
Well,
Thompson, yeah.
for me, my dad fought back in the 70s and 80s. My older sister, fought before me,
Okay.
and I was her, pretty much her punching bag for years,
Okay.
And my dad, one day, I wasn't even thinking about fighting. I was just a sparring partner, leaving the ring crying. This girl beat me up, It was kind of embarrassing. Yeah, man. And then, my dad kind of threw me to the dogs my very first fight. I was 15. I fought a guy who was 26, 20-0.
Yeah, you just got to make it happen.
That was kind of his way of showing me that, I'm better than what I thought I was.
Yeah.
After that, it's been go time.
Yeah, surprise. I'm glad that you've gone to something that you could see in yourself that anybody else could have not thought of to. But now, glad you proved it.
Thanks, man.
I mean,
That's awesome. The Hughes twins used to fight each other on the farm, and you used to get beat up by your older sister.
All the time.
Yeah.
If we ever got caught fighting, it was always after dinner. Don't do this with your kids, guys. But he would pull out. They would move the couch and everything out of the way. I'd be in my whitey tighties. My sister would be in her shirt because we would always fight. And he would make us fight, man. No gloves. We couldn't close fists to the face, but we could palm heel to each other. And I got beat up, man.
It was different for me. My grandmother always called me crazy when I was a little kid. My grandparents adopted me when I was 2, so that's why I keep talking about my grandmother. She used to think I was crazy because I would fight a teddy bear.
You would fight a
teddy bear. I had a teddy bear. It was yellow. It was a yellow teddy bear, and I used to beat him up because back then, we had.
Well, you beat him up.
But I'm saying, it was WWF back in the day. Remember? So I used to jump off the couch and land on top of the bear and punch him and kick him and throw him around.
You were always fighting.
Yeah, I was just everything, and the bear had a missing eye. Half of his nose was gone. His whiskers was barely hanging on. That was the only time I did any fighting.
That was your first sparring partner.
It was my first sparring partner. I never really had a real legit street fight or anything like that.
Man.
Okay, and dinner at the Thompson house, be prepared to spar. Just keep that in mind. Always. We got about 5 minutes left or a little less, but go ahead.
This question's for Rumble. I'm sorry you had to put in all that hard work and then not get to fight. That must be terrible.
It's not that bad. I like the way I was feeling. I like the way I was looking, and I was actually just ready to fight. So
I think
the fact that the fight got pushed off, like I said, it was I saw it as a good thing because it gives me more time to train.
I think DC don't want no part of you.
We'll find out.
Not this time around.
We'll find out.
And for Wonder Boy, that was a good fight against Tyrone Woodley. But did you find, from Wildman getting really rocked up in that fight affected you in any way?
Going back, actually, after the fight, getting stitched up, he was actually waiting back there, and we kind of had an emotional moment where, you know, he blamed himself for my loss. He thought me being in the back, seeing him get knocked out like that affected me. But you know what? When you're getting ready to go out there and fight, man, you feel bad, but you have all your emotions after the fight.
He's a tough dude.
He is, man. He's a very tough guy, but it wasn't his fault one bit.
Yeah.
You know, that was all me, so.
Yeah. Well, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're going to go just 2 more each side. I apologize. Some of you guys didn't get in. Go ahead over on this side first.
Hey, thank you guys for coming. My name is Ryan. My question is for Rumble. Rumble, if everything went according to plan, tomorrow night you'd be the champion. If for some odd reason, God forbid, your first title defense couldn't have been John Jones, who do you think would have been next in line, especially since your last recent fights have been complete horrifying finishes over the next guys in line?
You said if it wouldn't have been John Jones, who would it be, basically?
Yeah,
exactly. If you've won the title and the next one wasn't John Jones, who do you think it might be?
Honestly, I don't know. I knocked out Bader. I knocked out Gus. I knocked out Glover. Who's next?
That's
you know, so
exactly.
honestly, it's only John and DC that are at the top with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I guess I would just retire.
Retire to the heavyweight division.
And sorry, I just wanted to say one thing. Wonder Boy, I didn't think it was a draw. I thought you won.
Wow,
and in the rematch, I think you finished him a lot earlier.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you very much. Over here.
Hi, big fan of both of you guys. You guys inspire me a lot. If you guys were to hypothetically throw down, who do you think would win?
Look at this guy, man. He ain't got a net.
Here we go.
And
it's all over.
I can say this. I can say this. I've seen this man fight, and his style is very tricky. So I wouldn't be surprised if he knocked me out.
Don't let him fool this guy. He walked through everything I throw at him, man.
And for real though, do you guys have any advice for any young up-and-coming fighters?
Man, you know what? Just find a good gym where you feel comfortable. You know, I've been to a lot of gyms where you walk in the door and it feel like you have to fend for your life every time you step out on the mat, and that's not fun. You know what I mean? Find a good gym where you can go to where it feels like family, man. You know, you feel welcome. Everybody you spar with's cool, and of course, you know, me and my buddies, I got best friends. We duke it out all the time. It gets a little heated sometimes, but you know, find a gym where your coaches and your teammates will take care of you at the same time. You know, and that's something that you have to kind of go out and shop around for, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. And it kind of sucks that you kind of have to do that, but there are some gyms out there where man, it's scary stepping on the mat.
Like the Cobra Kai.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly like that. Got a final one over here, and then we'll do one more over here, and then we got to wrap things up, and I apologize. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Wonder Boy, I still think you're going to be the champ for a very long time, so good luck on the next fight.
I appreciate it.
I just had a question for both of you. What do you guys think about the association, GSP? I know Cerrone Kennedy's in it. Do you guys have any ideas? What do you guys think, or you guys want to participate in the future?
I don't know nothing about it. I heard about it,
Be
but
honest
once
with you,
again, it has nothing to do with me. I
have no idea what. I haven't read any articles or anything about it. You know, just all I'm doing is focusing on training, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, thank
Sorry,
you.
man. Sorry about
I
that.
don't even know what it's called. I really don't know what it's called, though, honestly. I don't.
Yeah, it's an honest answer. Yeah. Honest answer. Last one over here, please.
My question's for Rumble Johnson. First of all, my friend Flex Lewis says you're a fucking animal.
Yo, you're
He's
Flex's
right.
boy.
Yeah.
He hit me up. He told me about you.
And I heard on MMAfighting.com and MMA Hour with Ariel Hawani that Gegard Mousasi wanted to fight with you at 206, but we respect that because you deserve a title shot. Who would you give a title shot to for your first title defense? John Jones, Mousasi, or Cormier?
Well, Mousasi ain't even in the picture. That's just the honest answer.
Yeah.
Whoever wanted it between John and DC, you know, both of them can get it.
For sure.
Well, if it's 1-1, then you probably have a great possibility of completing a trilogy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think with the three of us, it's up in the air with the three of us. You know what I mean? You see how everybody picked me to beat John, DC beat me, and then John beat DC. So it's just one big circle, right?
How about a big round of applause for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Anthony Rumble Johnson? Weigh-ins in a little bit. You want to let him in?
Yeah. It's only
Rumble says you get to go, sir.
Go for it, bro. Go for it.
Let's do it.
But thank you still.
Ask away.
Right on.
I hope they're good.
Yeah, good. They're very good. Hey, guys, thank you very much for leaving your very warm and sunshiny climates for coming to our beautiful country where it's snowing and it's cold as.
Hey, it's a good change. You know what I mean? Good change.
I grew up in Ohio.
And you welcome it very well. Guys, I'm just wondering, both of you are kind of in the same position where you're kind of waiting for the next fight. What does that do to your mental as a fighter that wants to continue to fight frequently? What does that do to your head? Is it easy to get through or not so much?
For me, it just gives me, it lets my brain slow down and kind of just calm down and not worry about anything. Because once I'm in fight camp, I'm a crazy man then. Just leave me alone and let me train and let me fight, let me spar, let me do whatever I got to do to make sure I beat the guy that's going to try and beat me up. So whenever I don't have a fight or the fight gets canceled, I sit back and I relax and I just enjoy myself. I live life a lot more than.
Kind of the same, man. And, going through camps and, we're fighters, so our bodies take a lot of abuse. If you saw my last fight, I was pretty banged up. So I use that time to heal up, give you a chance to body just kind of relax and heal up from previous injuries that you've had. And that's what we do, man.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Great round of applause again. Weigh-ins are coming up. Thank you, Toronto.
Yes, sir.